I recognize you. He says, I watch your program every week. So, real nice young fella. He's from Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. He was helping normally with the colors, and he's repainting the door entrance and the shutters and all. And they were working on a color of blue. I think we agreed that if he would just get the store to use the beautiful blue eyes that he has.
Blue eyes?
Beautiful. I mean, they just stand out. Real nice looking young fella with beautiful eyes. And I understand that he's a real good painter. He works for himself.
Very good.
Thanks for saying hello. And then while I was visiting John, of course, John is doing well, still doing well. He'd appreciate your phone calls. He'd appreciate you going by and visiting, spend a few minutes with him. It's got to be some long days when you're by yourself at home like this.
He was a very active man all his life.
All his life, that's correct. We had another person there, Miss Gail and Paul were off, and we had a young lady by the name of Deborah Barnes, originally from Opelousas, but she lives in the Lafayette area now. She assists Gail when Gail has to take off. She tries to be available, and she comes in, and very nice lady.
I wonder if she related to those Barnes from Palmetto. I bet you that's the same people.
I asked about that, and I don't think so, but somewhere down the line could be.
Yeah.
She is a teacher at Cecilia Junior High. How about that? Real nice lady. Had a great morning. Then we went over, when we got through eating, Cody Wilder, Vicki and I went over to Poor. That's a new place. It's across there's like a center block. I don't know what the name of it is. It's an area where they hold music
like open patio area.
That's correct. Across the street from the Village Cafe. It's owned by Jude Tozan.
And it's poor like no money, or it's poor like you have a little adult libation?
Poor. It's a new technology for our area. He bought the system. It's out of Italy. And, you know, Italians love that wine, kind of like the French. And it's, you buy a card, you buy a $25 card, $100, whatever you want, and then you insert the card into the machine. And you pick the kind you want. There's several sections of it. You pick the kind, and you can get just 1 ounce to taste it, or you can get another, about a half a glass, or you can get a full glass. And you just press a button. Can you imagine?
It all just comes out. There's no bartender.
No bartender. You
take
do
care
your
of
own.
yourself.
You take care of yourself. And then, of course, it also has a menu.
The food.
Yep.
Looks good.
Salad, soups, bites.
I'm impressed. Paninis.
Panini and
crostinis, which I'm not sure what that is.
That's Italian.
Oh, it sounds Italian to me.
And here is a kind of a list of some of the wines.
Wow, that must be about, I guess, about 75 flavors, up to $300 a bottle, down to about $8 a bottle. So whatever your budget,
whatever your budget is. Anyhow, good luck to them. And I think Jude's partner, if I remember reading the article in the newspaper correctly, is Mr. Robert Daigle, one of the originators and the developers of River Ranch.
Excellent. Knights of Columbus this Sunday are selling their pull boys and chips. It's Sunday, June 26th from 10:30 in the morning to 1 p.m. It's at the Casey Hall on North Main Street, right next to Roy Motors. You can contact any member of KC 1173 for tickets. You can call Deacon John Miller at 942-2911 or Ken Thibodeau, 942-2736. $5 a ticket. Always goes to all the different things they do in the community with the flags and veterans type issues and all the things that Knights do to help kids.
We talked about the good job that the Corps of Engineers has done protecting our Louisiana properties. And unfortunately, up in Missouri, they really haven't.
As much water as they already had, they got more water now.
It's got some big rains going on now, and 2 of the Missouri levees have been breached.
And overtopped. They had water even go over the top.
Over the top. So for those people, we know how devastating that can be.
And it's going to be a bad summer.
Because we have the hurricanes that give us.
It's going to be a bad summer for them. You know, us, by the time we get past the spring floods, you know, we have the hurricanes, sure, but our worst flooding is the spring floods. We're past that now. We're pretty much in good shape. But those folks, they're still fighting. It's going to be all summer for them.
It's going to be all summer. Let's not forget that the Louisiana Orphan Train Society is holding its annual convention gathering here in Opelousas, and that's going to be July the 16th. So keep that, mark that, and you don't have to be a member. We invite anyone to come and learn the story about how these young kids came into the area, and you can visit the museum and see the clothing and different write-ups about
Read
several
the
the stories.
how these kids impact us today.
Till today, I'm one of them.
Yep. Joe Smith Furniture in Opelousas. If you need some furniture, go see Mr. Joe Smith. He got it all, from the bedroom sets, the dining room sets, kitchen. You're talking about everything that you need. He's got all the furniture that you need to do whatever you got to do. Maybe it's your camp that you're revamping now. Maybe it's your home you're revamping. You took some of the house furniture and sent that to the camp after you cleaned the camp up with, you know, getting ready with the floods and all that. They got mattresses at the mattress outlet. You know, you read this thing all the time. I see people that say, well, I went to this outlet sale. Go by Joe Smith. Next door, they got the mattress outlet where they've got very, very aggressive pricing for the same type of mattresses that you're seeing at these roadside deals with the long-term experience Joe Smith Furniture can give you, and deliver it to your house most of the time the same day. Joe Smith Furniture.
How about a couple of pictures? We have
can do
about
that
6
too.
minutes left in
Let's
the first
show
half.
Evangeline Downs.
Evangeline Downs, that would have been last Wednesday
That's
night.
Miss Vicky since her surgery. She had shoulder surgery.
Shoulder surgery, correct. And next to her is Miss Patsy Rink and her husband, Mr. Joe Rink. They had just won a race. And of course, Megan had come to the races. Kelly was invited, but she was kind of under the weather that night. But we had a real nice evening. And what's the next one? This would have been last Thursday after a doctor's appointment in Lafayette. Went over to Walk On, which is one of the newest restaurants in Lafayette. And this young man here, Hunter, was our waiter. And he came back after about once or twice. He said, "Did you say your name was Bobby Dupre?" I said, "Yes, I did." He says, "I think you know an uncle of mine." I said, "Really?" He says, "Coach Dautrieve." I said, "I guess I do." And I told him some of the things. He says, "What you've just told me, I've heard him tell the family what you tried to do for the OHS, for the school, and what you've done for him personally." So it was real sharp young kid. He's a strong safety on the UL football team.
Wow, that don't surprise you, huh? If you're in that family, you better play football.
And we had a long meeting, the HBPA, on Monday in New Orleans. And on the way back, Mr. Tom Abbott rode with me, Mr. Don Stemmons rode with me, and Miss Marcia LaMarche rode, and we stopped in for a pit stop at TJ Ribs. And of course, a big function was taking place. I hadn't realized that Billy Nungesser had announced over the weekend that he was running for lieutenant governor. And I walked up to him. I says, "I think I've met you, but I know you know my friend real well, Martin Lambert." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Here's my number, my cell number. Get Martin a call. I need his support down in the Opelousas area." So he was out there. He looks a lot smaller in person. He's not puffed up looking like he looks on that television program.
Right.
But anyhow, we wish him well, like we wish all of them well.
And let's see, what else we got? This was you taking some pictures.
I took a picture of y'all chatting after our program last week.
I'm telling Matt something, and I'm serious, whatever it is.
You're serious. You got your arms full, but you keep that right hand where you can point.
I can point, that's right. I got a bit of point. I learned that from the best.
And this was last Wednesday night. I had a horse that ran and was claimed, I might add.
Oh,
Basica.
man.
Yep, the only one I had that was running. And this is Father's Day at the where else but the Steamboat.
Right.
We had a beautiful gathering. Megan on the left, me in the blue shirt, Vicky with the sling on, and Miss Kelly, my older daughter. And we had a blast. And then the picture of just the three of us.
Dad and the two girls.
Yep, Dad and the two girls.
And you got a sunset here.
Yes.
And there you are with
this is Monday. J.E. Jumonville was in attendance at our Horsemen's Association meeting.
Well known in the oil business and of course horsemen.
And I reminded him where I met his wife Bunny. He says, "You remember where you met Bunny?" I said, "Yeah, I had gone with Attaway He was running a horse in Kentucky, and it was snowing that night.
No kidding.
And Wayne and Freddie Weibel's horse was being trained, I guess, for that race by Attaway, if my memory serves me correctly. And J.E. and his wife Bunny, and they've been big-time quarter horse people, and some thoroughbreds, but quarter horse, he's really got some good runners on the ground right now.
I met him with my Uncle Ben Stanford.
He says, "You remember that?" He said, "That was a fun trip." I said, "It sure was."
He's a character.
And he lives over there in Ventris, which is Point Coupee Parish, on the, I guess, east side of the big lake.
False River.
False River, there you go.
Got it.
And this was on Tuesday afternoon. This is Jonathan Knoll, Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Knoll, Jeanette Knoll, who's a appellate court judge.
Right.
And this is Fresh Catch Restaurant and Grill. And then there's some pictures of his friends. Let me get my pictures. I got them right over here. The first gentleman with the big smile and the kind of bluish gray shirt is Adam Laborde. And of course, he and Vicky all knew the same people, as well as the other young man in the picture is Brandon Scott. He's a young attorney. He's out about 1 year. He said, "Do you know John Tassan?" I said, "Dr. Tassan?" I said, "Sure do." I said, "Tasmo used to be a member with Pat Morrow." He said, "Would you do me a favor, Mr. Bobby? Please tell Pat Morrow hello. Good morning, Pat." And we'll do that right now. And
you with the boys.
Adam Laborde is one of the field sales people for Aflac. And look, he asked me right away,
do you have a policy?
Do you have the policy? and I told him the story about the Henry Ford, but that's another day. I'll get to that another day. I also spoke.
That was all at the Fresh Catch Bistro.
That's correct. And I met Mr. Anthony Wilson, huge man. I mean, the nicest guy. You'd want him on your side. That's for one thing. He's the manager of the food and beverage department at the Paragon Casino.
Excellent.
And of course, he knows my two good friends over there, David Rivas and Samson Marshall, at the casino. So had a beautiful day. But then I'll come back and I'll talk about why I had gone to Marksville.
KSLO TV, we're going to see you folks on the other side of 3.